Hello and welcome to an abridged news on NTA International. We're live in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Obiageli Ugoke and Precious Ozemene is our sign language interpreter for today. Now the headlines. Talks mediated by US and Saudi Arabian governments making a headway. Presidential election petition court commences pre-trial hearing on 5 petitions. And federal government says privatization of power sector is right approach to meeting power needs of Nigeria. Let's begin with updates on Sudan conflict. The foreign ministers of Arab League countries at an emergency meeting in Cairo have agreed to form a tripartite liaison committee to work for resolving the ongoing conflict in Sudan between the Sudanese army and the rival paramilitary rapid support forces that erupted in mid-April. Adebola Brewston Sunday now reports.
Noting that the heightened tension in Sudan has already imposed impacts on its neighboring countries, the Arab League foreign ministers again called on the warring parties to completely cease fire and return to political dialogue. After an emergency meeting in the Egyptian capital city, Cairo, the bloc said the liaison committee will include representatives from Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the 22-member Arab League.
The current situation requires Arab countries to take immediate and effective actions, so we decided to form a multi-party liaison committee at the meeting. The committee mainly aims to reach a ceasefire, set up humanitarian corridors for civilians, and protect state institutions in Sudan from collapse in the crisis.
The top priority of the Arab League now is to find a real solution and to stop the bloodshed, to protect the livelihood of people in Sudan, especially that this country is relying on the humanitarian aid.
Meanwhile, Sudan's healthcare system remains under huge strain amid the ongoing conflicts in the country, with many hospitals forced to close their doors due to security concerns, while other medics are valiantly carrying on as the fighting continues. Many patients can no longer access treatments in the capital Khartoum and other affected cities and towns across the country, while many people are now having to walk through conflict-hit zones to reach the few available facilities which are still operating.
The center is ready to receive some normal cases, remove the bullets, and do small operations. However, if the condition is bad, we attempt to transfer the patient to the closest operating hospital, but none are available. They are all far away due to a lack of surrounding services.
We offer small operations and some medical services, all for free. We have some challenges that we face, such as shortage of medicine for chronic diseases, and the second thing is analyzers and blood tests. We suffer from a severe shortage.
Every day, a sizable number of people come to us. We don't take a break as we labor from sunrise until dusk. We get ill people here.
The armed conflict between the two main rival factions of the Sudanese military broke out on April 15. So far, at least 560 people have been killed and more than 4,000 others have been injured in the conflicts. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a volunteer in Sudan lost his life in the process of providing power, just as Russia swamped Ukraine with drones, the largest in months, on Monday. Kolo Mohammed tells us more.
A student engineer is reported to have been electrocuted fixing power in a clinic in Darfur. He was one of the few volunteers working to keep medical facilities optimal in service to wounded civilians as the war in Sudan rages. In another report, Russia launched its biggest wave of drone strikes on Ukraine for months on Monday, escalating attacks in the run-up to its mainland Victory Day holiday celebrating the defeat of Nazi Germany, which Kyiv marked a day earlier in a new break with Moscow. The onslaught began in the morning rush hour. First, a missile landed in a very busy intersection, and then another created a huge crater close to playground for children. Ukraine says 7 people were killed in the city, which had largely escaped attack until now. Ukrainian president was quick to send out a video message to Ukrainians asking them to be calm, opining that Russia was losing, which explains the attack targeted at civilians, including children. Finally, an experimental Chinese spacecraft returned to Earth on Monday after staying in orbit for 276 days, completing a landmark mission to test the country's reusable space technologies. No details were given on what the spacecraft was, what technologies were tested, how high it flew, and where its orbit had taken it since its launch in early August 2022. Images of the craft have also not been released to the public. The test marks an important breakthrough in China's research into reusable spacecraft technology that will provide a more convenient and inexpensive way to mount future space missions. Kolom Hamad, NTA News.
Along King Charles' coronation, the coronation of King Charles III and wife Queen Camilla was a spectacle in every way for guests from all around the world who bore witness to what some may view as a once-in-a-lifetime event. But it is the imputes of some Nigerians at the core of things on that day, from the crowning to the display of orchestra that has caught the eyes. Charles Alpha identified notable Nigerians and their contributions right from the Buckingham Palace to the Westminster Abbey.
The aura and glamour that eclipsed the coronation of King Charles was nothing short of class and finesse. Nigerians in the UK are giving good account of themselves and the country Nigeria, be it in the academia, politics and governance. Several British Nigerians were involved in the ceremony by virtue of their positions, and in this regard, the crowning of the UK monarch, they have shown that there is more that meets the eye. First, a look at Dame Elizabeth Aniogu, a nurse, professor and a medical scholar, UK's first nurse to specialize in sickle cell patients, establishing the Brent Sickle Cell and Thalassemia Counseling Center in 1979. The daughter of Lawrence Aniogu of Onitsha, she carried the sovereign's herb in the royal procession at the coronation of King Charles and Queen Camilla. Omar Omagomi is a cultural anthropologist by academic training and director of community engagement to King Charles and Camilla. She was present at the coronation as senior aide to the King and Queen. Kenneth Afunezi Olisa is the High Bailiff of the Sanctuary of the Westminster Abbey, the Lord Lieutenant of Greater London, and the King's personal representative in the city. The 72-year-old was born to a Nigerian father from Onitsha. Reverend Tosin Oladipo is the chaplain of the Archbishop of Canterbury. He carries his staff and at the beck and call of the Archbishop of Religious Service, he is the Archbishop's vicar. Ade Adeleko is the Security and Aviation Commander and was in charge of the security arrangement for the coronation of King Charles and Camilla. He oversaw the activities of 11,500 officers on duty at the coronation. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Britain's first coronation in 7 decades turned out a huge party, launches communal plays, rebirth of 1,000-year-old traditions and rituals that saw the whole globe participate. Kolom Mohammed tells us more.
Britain revealed in the coronation of King Charles III on Sunday as it staged a star-studded concert watched by 20,000 people at Windsor Castle and millions more across the country and world. Communal plays, rebirth of 1,000-year-old traditions and rituals. King Charles 74 and Queen Camilla 75 watched on from a royal box in the grounds of the castle west of London as Lionel Richie, Katy Perry and British band Take That topped the bill of performers. Screens erected nationwide broadcast the televised event featuring a 70-piece orchestra, choirs and several unique dramatic performances to communities, while organizers said it will also be seen in over 100 countries around the world. Amid the music and video message tributes from an array of public figures, Prince William took to the stage to pay tribute to his father the day after he was formally crowned king.
For all its celebrations are magnificent, at the heart of the pageantry is a simple message: service. My father's first words on entering Westminster Abbey were a pledge of service. It was a pledge to continue to serve, because for over 50 years, in every corner of the UK, across the Commonwealth and around the world,
the glittering Westminster Abbey ceremony steeped in 1,000 years of tradition and ritual was attended by global royalty and world leaders, as well as hundreds of UK community and charity representatives.
as my grandmother said,
Thanking all those involved, Buckingham Palace said Charles and Camilla had been deeply touched by it.
and I know
Monday was declared a public holiday, meaning people could enjoy Sunday unencumbered. Kolom Hamad, NTA News.
Turning now to bilateral relations, the People's Republic of China is boosting its tie with Nigeria in the areas of education, trade and culture. The affirmation came when the Zhejiang University of Science and Technology and Zhejiang Normal University in Zhejiang Province, China, played host to a delegation from the University of Nigeria with the theme Sustaining Nigeria-China Cooperation for a New Era of Common Development, led to signing of a memorandum of understanding on general collaboration, including staff and students exchange program. The Nigerian delegation was led by the Vice Chancellor of University of Nigeria, Professor Charles Igwe. After signing a memorandum of understanding, the Consul General of Nigeria in Shanghai, Ambassador Chimeze Okoma Ogo, advocated extension of scholarship grants to Nigerian students in China and enhanced collaborations between Chinese and Nigerian universities. Both universities agreed to offer more scholarship grants at doctoral and master's level in engineering and information technology, as well as methodology to access research grants from Chinese government and co-publish such research in any field. Xinjiang Normal University Institute of African Studies is also expected to, as part of the agreement, establish Chinese Cultural Museum in Nigeria. You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a short break. More stories when we return. Stay with us. And on legal front, the presidential election petition court has struck out the petition filed by Action Alliance challenging the election of Bola Tinubu of All the Progressives Congress. This followed the motion for withdrawal filed by the parties. Austin Anyebe now reports.
The Presidential Election Petition Court, before its inaugural sitting in Abuja, had 5 petitions to adjudicate on. However, upon commencement of pre-hearing conference, Counsel to Action Alliance, Madobuchi, moved a motion for withdrawal of their petition, which was not opposed by any of the respondents, and subsequently struck out. The other 2 petitions held by the panel of 5 justices, led by the presiding justice of Abuja Division, Justice Haruna Simon Somani, include that of the Action People's Party and Peter Gregory Obi and Labour Party, all the petitioners challenging the outcome of the February 25th presidential election, which produced Bola Tinubu as the president-elect. Both counsel to the petitioners and the respondents told the court that answers have been provided to the questions posed to them in a pre-hearing form which they adopted. A 5-man panel of justices led by Justice Haruna Sabani, who earlier tasked counsel on speedy adjudication on the petitions, adjourned Wednesday, 10th May 2023 for further pre-hearing of the petitions by the Action People's Party and Labour Party, while petitions by Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party and Allied People's Movement will be heard Tuesday, 9th May 2023.
The pre-trial hearing is expected to last for 2 weeks, after which the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal will issue a report which will guide the subsequent proceeding.
The court has 180 days from the date of announcement of the winner of the presidential election to adjudicate over all the petitions. From the Court of Appeal, Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
In the meantime, the National Council on Privatization, chaired by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, has delisted Transcorp Power PLC from the routine evaluation and monitoring of the Bureau of Public Enterprise. State House correspondent Gideon further reports that the signing of the certificate of discharge took place at the Council's meeting this Monday.
These are members of the National Council on Privatization, led by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, gathering here at the conference room of the VP's wing in the Presidential Villa for their regular monthly meeting. They are being joined by members of the Transcorp Power team. And now to the business of the day, the delisting of Transcorp Power PLC from the routine evaluation and monitoring of the Bureau of Public Enterprise. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo describes this as a very happy occasion.
Power needs of our country are grave, and we strongly believe that the right approach is the privatization of the power sector to enable serious-minded private sector players to invest in power, the provision of public power, and to ensure that they are efficient while they make profit at the same time. And we hope that this will be the first. This will not be the last in a series of private companies that have taken over power plants and are able to meet the expectations of the post-evaluation plans.
The company, as explained by the DG Bureau of Public Enterprise, has achieved an available capacity of 680.8 megawatts, which surpasses the minimum performance target of 670 megawatts.
Having exceeded the minimum performance target and having fulfilled all the agreed obligations, the National Council on Privatization at its meeting of the 4th of April 2023 considered and approved the recommendations of the Bureau and its request that the company, Ugoli Power PLC, be approved for delisting from routine monitoring.
We have operated since 2013, 10 years now, no incident, no health hazard, nothing, and we'll continue to stay that way because we know that in the 21st century, sustainability is key, health is important, safety extremely important.
The Vice President urged the organization to continue in that progressive path and to do even better, and hopes that this will not be the last in the series of private power companies that are taking over power plants. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Let's take a bit of health. Assessing healthcare services with financial security by Nigerians dominated discussions at a 3-day retreat by stakeholders in the health insurance sector. Basi Itaiba now reports.
Sustainable Development Goal 3 seeks, among other things, to achieve universal health coverage, including financial risk protection and access to quality healthcare services for all. For Nigeria to achieve this goal is a reason for this meeting in Nasarawa State. The Minister of Labour, Chris Ngige, was represented.
This retreat is a unique opportunity for all of us to deliberate on issues affecting the Nigerian health insurance sector, with a particular focus on the role of ProHealth HFO Limited.
The retreat was an opportunity for newly appointed board members and Management of Pro Health HMO Limited to strategize on how to provide better services to Nigeria and their enrollee, and to educate Nigerians on the benefits of the insurance scheme established by the federal government.
The importance of health insurance in Nigeria can never be overemphasized, as it cushions the potential negative impacts of the persistent underfunding in the health sector.
Nigerian Health Insurance Act have provided quite a number of things. So those are the issues that we want to understand fully, go through it, and support every Nigerian through this process.
Other speakers stressed the need for the availability of funds for health needs in the country in line with the provisions of universal health coverage. Basi Taipan, NTA News.
That does it on this news package on NTA International. My name is Sabra Gelugoke, and Precious Ozemene has been here with me. Thanks for being part of it.